So my friend, he calls me up and he says, I have a steering wheel. And then he shows me it connected to Minecraft. The challenge is to survive 100 days of Minecraft Hardcore, but I can only use the steering wheel. I do use the keyboard for typing in name tags and F3 and escape, but that's nothing. Day 1 started as any normal Minecraft day would start. I chopped down some trees, I did some crafting. The next thing you know, I found a piece of iron. I immediately used this to craft a shield. After this, I needed some food, so I killed some sheep, and I collected some of these berry things. The next thing you knew, I was already back mining iron. I also had this terrifying creeper encounter. I was able to craft myself some iron armor and a bed. That night, I went out collecting some string for a bow and for a fishing rod. This actually didn't take that long, and I was done pretty quickly. After that, I decided to just go to sleep and not die. Day 2 started out great with me finding a pumpkin. I also, of course, had another creeper encounter. After that, I went to kill some cows so that I can use their leather and the sugarcane to make some enchantments. While exploring, I found myself this nether ruin. I decided to relight the portal and just see what was on the other side. But pretty soon it was nighttime, so I decided to just sleep. The next day, I lit the portal, and I, of course, went inside. The spawn was fairly bland, but I was able to get myself a pretty good amount of gold that I decided to save for later. I promptly went back. I killed some chickens, collected some sugarcane, and then I went to sleep. On day 4, I started killing some animals, and of course there was another creeper. I also tamed myself a doggy friend, and I sent that doggy friend to kill more animals. Next, I collected myself some wood that I would use for the rest of my nomadic journey. It was getting dark, so I decided to start mining down. Once I reached Y level 12, I started to smelt up some of my food. I also, of course, started strip mining for those diamonds. Eventually, I was able to find myself this cave. On day 5, I came back to my furnaces with some of my plunder. I also decided to craft up some books with my leather and paper. After exploring the cave for a while, my doggy, he got a little bit too close to lava, and yeah. I thought he would hold on. I should have been quicker. On day 6, I found my first diamonds. I was able to craft a pickaxe, an enchantment table, and some bookcases. I used all this to get a pretty coolly enchanted pickaxe. I also found some diamonds and some more diamonds, and I found a golden apple. Later on, I had this pretty scary experience. That was scary. And then my shield broke, and I quickly crafted a new one. I found some more diamonds, and then I found some more diamonds. Of course, I crafted some diamond armor, and I got protection 2 on all of my armor. I was pretty kitted out. I also decided to craft myself a bow. On day 7, I took all my goods to the nether, and the spawn was pretty bland. Luckily, I was just able to mine through the wall and find these guys. I hate these guys. I also started trading with some piglins. I got a lot of garbage, but I also got not garbage in the form of fire resistance potions. At the beginning of day 8, I freed my piggy friend and went exploring. It didn't take long to find one of these warp forests, which are perfect for killing endermen. After a while, I got bored and I looked for this nether fortress. I was able to find some pretty cool loot inside, and I also got myself some nether warts. On day 9, I drank my fire resistance potion, and I started killing some blazes. After a while of grinding, I was able to get all the blaze rods that I would need, and I went back to the warp forest to kill some more endermen. On day 10, I showed how good I am at Minecraft. I killed the last enderman that I needed to, and I went back to the overworld. I spawned in this pretty cool snowy biome, and I immediately decided to start following my eyes of ender. That night, I stayed up past my bedtime to kill some phantoms, and I also found the location of the stronghold. It took me until the start of day 11 to actually get into the stronghold. Nope, that wasn't scary at all. While exploring, I had this terrifying experience where I accidentally shot the creeper instead of pulling out my shield. After more exploring, I was able to find the portal, and I went back up to get myself some more phantom kills. On day 12, I started getting myself some stuff to brew potions, such as redstone, and I also changed my texture pack so that I could actually wear a pumpkin on my head and not be blind. Next, I went to go get myself some sand for glass for potion bottles. On day 13, I crafted myself some slow-falling potions, and I was ready to fight the dragon. I quickly threw a pearl onto the mainland, and I drank my slow-falling potion. I was able to pop up, break the pillars. I shot at a couple of them, and eventually, once they were all broken, I was able to start smacking the dragon. I also decided to get myself a snowman for moral support, and I got myself the dragon breath. At the beginning of day 15, I killed the dragon. I'd also like to mention that I did it exactly 4 hours and 20 minutes into the stream. Yes! Afterwards, I collected all my XP, and I got the dragon egg, and then I just went back. On day 15, I cleared away some of my bad enchants, got myself a Fortune 3 pickaxe, and some Protection 4 armor. On day 16, I got myself some more slow falling potions, some wood, and I went back into the inn. I wanted to go to the inn city areas, and I spawned right next to one, actually. I was able to take it over pretty easily, especially with my slow falling potions, and I got myself a shulker box to organize my extra stuff into. Although the little inn city that I found was nice, it didn't have what I was looking for. So, on day 17, I continued searching, and I was able to find one in the distance. Oh! There it is! On day 18, I had to change my jump button to be shift so that I could actually make it across this huge gap. It took a while, but I finally did, and I was able to enter into the inn city. I got a lot of loot, and I also got some obsidian from the ender chests. Eventually, I was able to throw my pearl over to the boat thing, kill this guy, and I got the thing I was coming for, the elytra. And I'd also like to say that it's just crazy slow falling and the floating thing at the same time. You can basically just fly. On day 19, I had a very slow fly with my elytra back to the portal. He shoots and he scores! Back at base, I organized all my stuff into shulker boxes, and I decided to go on a mining journey for a couple of days, just so that I don't run out of any ores or materials. I spent day 20 mining. Day 21 mining. There was also a little bit of a confusion in the recording of the days, so I'm not sure exactly if this is right, but we'll just say this is day 21. And you guessed it, I spent day 22 mining as well. On day 23, I was basically just walking all the way back to base. On day 24, I got myself a silk touch pickaxe and I started packing up all my stuff. I got myself an ender chest and I put all of my shulker boxes inside. And then I went off to explore. I was looking for a village close by, but I didn't really like the snow villages that much. So I decided to go in a boat, and I didn't realize with the steering wheel, I can't actually control the direction of the boat, and I can't get out. After some controlling changes, I was able to escape my boat prison. On day 25, I realized I could actually use my elytra, so I did. Pretty soon, I actually ran out of rockets and I had to walk again. After a while, I was able to find this nether ruin thing, fortress, with a village right next to it. I went inside, and there were actually these mushrooms that I needed for later, and some gold that I also needed for later. Upon getting back, I was able to use my fortune pick to mine out the gold, and there was also a creeper. At the start of day 26, I turned all of those gold nuggets into gold bars, and I decided to check out the village. There was this huge crater hole thing with a ravine at the bottom, so I of course blocked that up, and I set up all of my shulker boxes and stuff and started smelting up all of my ores. I decided to craft a bunch of walls so that I could build them around the village to protect the village, and I found another crater thing that I immediately filled up. I spent the rest of the day trying to place some walls, and then it was nighttime, and so I went to bed. On day 27, I started placing the wall again, of course. I had to go through some farming stuff. That'll probably be fine. And I finished up, placed my fence gate, and then I decided to start getting rid of all the grass. I just do not like grass everywhere. And then it was late, and so I just decided to go to sleep. Day 28 was also spent removing a lot of the grass. Once I was done, I started placing torches absolutely everywhere. And then the day was pretty much over, so I just slept. On day 29, I removed all of the farms outside of the wall, and I got rid of all the hay outside of the wall, and I placed it back inside like a good person. And I also found another huge hole into the ravine, so I blocked that up. And I also placed another huge stone wall around my farming area, not around the village. And then it was nighttime, so I just decided to sleep again. On day 30, I started removing all of the grass, but then I realized I could just use a water bucket, so I did that. It was way quicker. I also decided to place my enchantment setup just outside. I don't really care, to be honest. And I crafted myself a diamond hoe and a diamond shovel to start work on my farming. And then it was nighttime, so I slept. The next day, I decided to start working on my sugarcane farm. Using the steering wheel to fill it up was an absolute pain. I placed all my sugarcane and just started to let it grow. Next, I started to work on a wheat farm. I used this strategy where I have like these little pockets of water, and it works pretty nicely. And then it was nighttime, so I naturally just decided to go to sleep again. The next day, I placed these slabs on top of the water so that they're waterlogged. It still acts as a water block, but you don't fall into it, and it's amazing. You're also able to place torches on top of these, so it's just really great all around. And I was able to use all of the seeds that I collected, removing seeds from everywhere to create that farm. I also started to add these slabs to my sugarcane farm, which was difficult. It was difficult, I'll say that much. I continued to extend the farm into the night. The next day, I started filling up all of the things with water. I think I found a little bit of a better strategy here with the moving forward inside of the water. On day 34, I was still farming sugarcane, and I would keep on breaking it and placing it as it grew. I found a better strategy today where you walk forward and you place like 2 of the slabs, and this was working pretty nicely with the steering wheel, and I was eventually able to finish it all up. On day 35, I started chopping some trees, mainly because I just wanted to get myself some apples. And then I started to work on my villager breeder killer. So the goal of this was to be able to breed villagers together, get them in a controlled area, turn them into zombies, and then heal them, and then turn them into zombies again. And that should make their trades a lot cheaper. After a while, I was able to get some of the redstone working. The idea was that when I flicked the lever, it would push a villager into the zombie, and he would get eaten up. This work continued on to day 36, and right now I'm building a mechanism to like push the zombie villager guy into a holding facility thing. It's weird, okay? On day 37, I worked on the actual breeding part of the machine, and this is where the baby villagers will be pushed into the section where they'll get eaten. So the next thing that I need to do is actually kidnap a couple of villagers. So I was able to lure them out of their houses with beds, because they want to go to sleep because it's nighttime. Eventually, I was able to get both of them in here, and I also went to go get some wool to make a couple more beds. On day 38, the breeder section was finally finished, and they actually ended up escaping a couple of times, and this was an annoying bit. Eventually, I was able to get them both back inside, and I also crafted myself up some golden apples in the curing process of the villagers. I also needed to start brewing up some potions in order to cure the villagers, and I began their breeding process by feeding them bread from the wheat farm. The next day, I had a little baby villager all bred up, and I was able to push him down into the bottom section, but I realized that he could just walk out. After a little while, I was able to trap him back inside, and I just needed to wait for him to get big and strong. The next day, I had 2 baby villagers, and they escaped again. Eventually, I was able to trap them back inside, and I actually placed glass here so that I could check on them. While I waited for them to get bigger, I continued to expand my sugarcane farm. On day 41, I had 2 grown-up villagers. I began trading with them just to get some basic trades and make some money from my sugarcane farm. Next, I began working on an underground holding facility for all of the cured villagers. That night, I tried trapping a zombie inside of the machine. It didn't really go that well. The next day was spent trading with the villagers some more, and I also created a trap to more easily catch myself a zombie in the nighttime. This actually worked, and I was able to get the zombie inside of my machine. This next step was going to be forcing the zombie to eat the villagers and then curing the villagers. The only problem was that my machine didn't really work as intended. The next day, I worked to fix it and make it actually work, and it did work, but somehow I lost one of the villagers. Eventually, my villager was now a zombie villager. I was able to use a weakness potion and then a golden apple to cure him. While he was being cured, I decided to continue working on the basement area, and I totally didn't break some redstone while doing this. While I was working, I got the zombie doctor achievement. I knew that my guy was healed, and as you can tell, his trades are a bit cheaper. Naturally, the next step was turn him in a zombie again, and then heal him again, and so that's what I did. While I was waiting for him to heal up again, I continued to make the basement look pretty. The next day, I was able to trade with him for super cheap. After trading with him for a bit, I decided to send him to the basement. The machine actually worked pretty well, and now he's trapped down here. I was able to buy some name tags from the librarian, and I decided to name my zombie Fire Sale. Next, I tried to get the villagers to breed some more, and I went to sleep. On day 45, I spent a lot of time making paper. It's difficult because I can't shift click with the steering wheel. After trading, I was able to send another baby down, and then I just went to sleep. On day 46, I got 2 more name tags for the mom and the dad, and I also got name tags for the kiddos, which are the actual little villagers that they produce. I just thought that this was funny. I don't know if it really is. I also had some more escaped baby villagers. I think I was able to get them back in. It was going to be a little bit difficult to cure 2 zombies at once because there were 2 zombies, so I made a couple of traps. I also decided to get myself some sheepies so that I can make some more beds. After I turned the villagers into zombies, I sent them both down into the machine, and I was able to actually trap them separately pretty easily. The healing process wasn't too bad either, and then they both started healing up, and I decided to go to sleep. On day 48, I started to reset the villagers' trades until I got stuff that I wanted. I decided to choose this guy with looting 3 because I thought that was a pretty good enchant. As you can tell, his trades are pretty cheap. They're actually so cheap that it creates like this thing where you can buy stuff and sell it back to make more emeralds, and so that's pretty cool. This other guy also had a mending book, so naturally I bought that straight away. And then I just went to sleep. On day 49, I was surprised by a baby zombie villager. I think that this guy actually came from the farm somehow. We're just not going to worry about that. I spent the rest of the day just trading. I was getting a whole bunch of emeralds at this point. I decided to spend a lot of my money buying mending books because they were so cheap. On day 50, I actually had some sneaky little guys accidentally come down here. This is bad, so I just decided to banish them to a second basement. This basement would basically be for people with not cheap trades, but I could get like specific enchants from them that I needed. My zombie also died, so I had to get another one, and in the process of trying to get him to come up here, he actually snuck downstairs, and that was a bad thing, and my baby zombies were also escaping, so I had to block that off. I guess we'll just try again tomorrow. On day 51, I traded with some of the people in the dark basement, and I was able to get somebody with a Unbreaking 3 book, so that was really nice. I continued to trade throughout the rest of the day, and while working on the machine, this happened. It was slightly terrifying. That night, I was able to get another zombie trapped, and I named him Kiddos, and then I just decided to go to sleep. On day 52, I continued trading with the guys in the dark basement, and I got somebody with a Protection 3 book, which is pretty good, and then I just went to sleep. On day 53, I was able to get a Respiration 3 book. I decided that I wanted to start re-enchanting my armor. I got Depth Strider 3 on my boots, and I got Aqua Infinity on my helmet. I was able to put Respiration 3 on my helmet, and Protection 4 on my helmet. I also decided to heal up another zombie villager. Next, I got Protection 4 on my boots, and I got Mending on my boots. And then, after all that work, I decided to go to sleep. On day 54, I bought a bunch of Protection 3 books. I was also able to get myself a villager with Thorns 3, which would actually be epic to get on all my armor. I re-zombified him again because I wanted him to be even cheaper. I was able to put Mending on my pants and Mending on my chest plate as well, and then I went to sleep. I started day 55 by re-curing my zombie villager guy, and I bought some Thorns books once he was cured. I wanted to put Thorns on my chest plate right away, but it was way too expensive. Later on, I had another villager to keep re-changing his trades. On day 56, I finally got him to get Feather Falling 1, which wasn't great, but I decided to recombine it again and again in order to get the best feather falling possible. On day 57, I did a lot of trading just to get more XP. That was the main thing that I needed at this point, honestly. I decided to craft myself a crossbow because I thought it would be cool to have a fully enchanted crossbow. I also put Looting 3 on my sword, and I broke an anvil. And then I put Mending on my sword, and I did quite a bit more trading, naturally. The next day I was able to get multi-shot on my crossbow. An iron golem spawned down here, and so I had to kill him. That was kind of sad. I was able to put Feather Falling 4 on my boots finally, and then I just went to sleep. On day 60, I spent a lot of time combining Sweeping 1 books in order to get the best sweeping edge possible. I also put Mending and Unbreaking on my elytra, and then it was nighttime. This trading, it takes a while. I'm sorry guys, we'll be done trading soon. Day 61, I put Mending on my pickaxe. I healed another zombie villager. I renamed my villagers, very fine names. On day 62, I did some more trade changes to get a Quick Charge 3 book for my crossbow. I was able to put my Sweeping Edge book on my sword. I put Unbreaking 3 and Quick Charge on my crossbow. This thing was pretty deadly, to be honest, and it's pretty awesome. On day 63, I was able to put Mending on my crossbow. On day 64, I was able to get a Sharpness 5 book villager. I wanted to put the Sharpness 5 book on my sword. I had Sharpness 4, and it was pretty expensive. I decided to start trading with Mom and Dad as cartographers. I also put Unbreaking 3 on my axe, and Mending on my axe, and Sharpness 5 on my axe, and I broke another anvil. And then I decided to upgrade my Silk Touch pickaxe a bit. Day 65 was just more trading, essentially. On day 66, I was able to get a villager with Efficiency 2. Finally, I got an Efficiency book. I was able to put Thorns on my pants. Got those spiky pants. I was also able to put Thorns on my chest plate. On day 67, I finally decided to start doing something different, and I went mining for Netherite. So this was the first time that I've done this, and I decided to try and use some beds in order to make it work. And that kind of worked. I almost died from blowing myself up there. As I went on, I sort of learned more. I was able to get a bit of Netherite on the first day. I ended the day with 5. And yeah, it's just fun blowing up beds. On day 68, I continued mining for netherite. I decided to use a new tactic where I just mine like all around with my pickaxe, and I don't know if that really worked better. It was day 69 and I didn't have full netherite armor. It was kind of unnice. I just decided to start smelting it up what I had. On day 70, I tried to get myself 2 pickaxes available, come more prepared. I got myself a netherite pickaxe. I enchanted my silk touch pickaxe with efficiency 4. And I turned that into a netherite pickaxe as well. On day 71, I went back to the nether to start mining for netherite some more. This time I brought way more beds with me, and of course I had the better pickaxes, which also helped. On day 72, I already had 7 netherites, and my armor was pretty awesome, to be honest. Like, the lava didn't even affect me at all. On day 73, I started to do the mining around thing again, and that worked pretty well. On day 74, I just kept on going, and I started using beds again, because that's fun. Finally, on day 75, I found the last 2 pieces of netherite that I needed. I immediately started smelting up all my netherite, and this was everything that I needed to enchant everything. After I crafted myself the netherite armor, I just felt basically invincible. I was also able to get myself netherite tools, and nothing stood a chance. Nothing. On day 76, I created myself some fireworks that can be combined with the crossbow to make possibly the coolest weapon in Minecraft ever. At this point, I was feeling pretty invincible. I decided to test it out on some animals, and it worked pretty well, and I upgraded the rest of my tools to netherite. On day 77, I was able to get thorns on my boots, finally. On day 78, I did some creeper hunting for some more gunpowder. On day 79, I was able to put efficiency 5 on my axe. I also started to enchant up my shovel a bit. I just wanted to have a good shovel. And in the process, I also broke another anvil. After collecting a bunch of emeralds, I decided to turn a lot of them into blocks. I just wanted to see how many I'd have. That's a lot. On day 80, I was pretty much done enchanting all my stuff finally. I decided to just start collecting some blocks, colorful blocks, and I chopped down all the trees, got myself some more fireworks. These fireworks would be used on the last day to commemorate my victory. Look at those, they look pretty nice, don't they? That night, I decided to fly all the way back to where the end portal was. I just wanted to clean up this area and make it look a lot nicer. I started by making a staircase all the way up to the surface, and this took all the way until day 81. On day 82, I started refurbishing the room, and there was some annoying silverfish, but thorns killed them. I essentially wanted to remove all the cracked cobblestone and mossy cobblestone, just to make it look very professional. The next thing that I did was I actually added a proper staircase going up. On day 83, I started adding designs to the side of the stairs. I didn't want to add anything too fancy. I just wanted it to look a little bit nicer than it did. This took quite a while, to be honest, and it was pretty difficult to do these maneuvers with the steering wheel. On day 84, I was pretty much done. I was just placing down all the torches that I could. I also noticed that I actually messed up the counting of the spacing between these pole things on the very first one, so that was nice. And I also noticed, looking back on this video, that I forgot to put torches on the one side. I am very sorry for that. Anyways, I decided to fly all the way back home at night. On day 85, I decided that I wanted to clean up this area too. I created a underground facility. This one will be much cleaner than the other one, and this one's purpose will be holding all the villagers, of course. I just want to get rid of the monstrosity machine that I have. On day 86, I added this mechanism that would push up all of these pistons in order to zombify and unzombify my villagers. On day 87, I built this thing around the top that would hold the villagers in place. And I also built this banister around so that I could easily get the villagers to fall into their separate positions. So a zombie had found its way into the basement of my villager controller thing. So now all my villagers were zombies. So I had to coax them all into their holes very carefully. This kind of worked. Eventually, I was able to get them all into a hole, at least. It took a while to separate them into different sections. Eventually, I was able to do it, though. So I had to craft myself up a bunch of golden apples in order to heal them all, and I was actually able to do that pretty easily, and now their trades will be cheaper again. On day 88, a lot of them were healed up, and their trades were super duper cheap. I placed them each with elytra so that they could refill their trading stock, and I decided to free the villagers in the dark dungeon basement. I created a little shack for them in the actual village, and I think they're happy. On day 89, I built another house for my villager breeding guys. They will still stay basically where they are, just in a nicer home. That night, I was able to move them in there, and I think they like it in there more. They have windows, at least. On day 90, I started deconstructing the huge monstrosity. Yeah, this was definitely the move. It was long time overdue. I just hid it under the ground, and it'll just be a faded memory now. Yeah. I began trading again with all these villager guys. I just wanted to see how cheap they were, and they were super cheap. On day 91, I just did a lot more trading with them, to be honest. On day 92, I decided to start expanding my sheep farm a little bit, just make it easier to get in and out, and I started collecting a bunch of wool. I used some of the wool I collected to create this Pokeball sort of type thing. And on day 93, I decided to build myself a house, finally. I just went for cobblestone flooring because I'm pretty basic, and wood exterior. I had a pretty kickin' kitchen with these black stovetop things. I used a lot of carpets in my house. I like the tile. I got myself an orange bed. Orange is my favorite color. I got myself a red couch. Pog. On day 94, I added in some colored windows. I think that they just look really nice. Pink is definitely my favorite colored window. On day 95, I finished up the roof, and I placed some lantern things hanging from the ceiling. I also put my dragon egg inside my house. I thought that was pretty nice. And I put a snowman inside my house. I wanted to rename my sword, but that's pretty expensive, so that's not going to happen. On day 96, I got myself some name tags for people around my farm place. I of course named my snowman the Great Defender. I named my villagers I know how to read because they know how to read, and I named my zombie Burr naturally, and I almost let him escape. That would have been bad. I decided to plant all my saplings again just in the corner of my farm, and then I decided to keep on trading. On day 98, I finally had enough experience to put sharpness 5 on my netherite sword. This thing, it's too cool. I also decided to put a photo of a diamond in my house, or I guess it's a real diamond, not a photo. And I decided to remove the diamond block. I thought it was too much diamonds. And in the process, somehow, my pumpkin man got out. On day 99, I decided to just take a fly around. I thought that would be nice. I actually found one of the snow igloo thingamabobbers, and they have these cool things at the bottom of them. It does. Oh, cool. Yes, I've been doing this a lot, actually. I know how to do it quite well. Bloop. I'm going to break this, okay? You get him out. Once he's healed, you take him home. Okay, nod. See you later. Once I was back at my base, something quite tragic happened. I don't want to talk about it that much. Who did that? I obviously decided to make a grave. I accidentally threw a snowball as well. And then I decided to sleep, and it was day 100. Poggers! Day 100. Naturally, I shot off my fireworks of celebration. I also decided to throw some snowballs in appreciation of the Great Defender. And I did not kill my sheep, don't worry. I did go outside, and I killed this creeper here, eradicating my lands of pests. And I killed this horse because I'm a horrible person. Please subscribe.